Good evening and welcome to Friday night's calendar.
Hello, thank you for joining us, and here are tonight's main stories.
In Bethany's name.
It's a way for Bethany's huge heart and loving personality to still help save people's lives.
A campaign by the mother of a woman from Huddersfield killed by her ex-partner is backed by the Queen, also tonight.
Fighting the floodwaters, a decade since devastating damage. Defence plans go on show, but not everyone in Hebden Bridge is happy about them. Plus...
And England rip back the Calcutta Cup for the first time in 5 years.
The Six Nations comes to town, so why was the England team in York today?
I think it's going to be the opposite to how the saying goes, in like a lion, out like a lamb. A very calm start to the new month of March. All the detail a little later on, and...
When childhood dreams come true, Will Burns, Ant and Dec's Golden Buzzer act from Leeds, will be joining us in the studio. Good evening. First, a heartfelt plea from a grieving mother in Leeds to the police. Believe, then react and be fast. That's the approach that Pauline Jones wants all police forces to adopt in response to domestic violence after her daughter was killed by a man she'd already reported.
Bethany Fields was killed in Huddersfield in 2019 by her ex-partner Paul Crowther. Her mother Pauline says police didn't believe her when she told them that she was scared that he would harm her.
Well, now her campaign has been backed by Queen Camilla, who says it's a brilliant idea which could save many lives. Amelia Beckett reports.
Bethany Fields was just 21 years old when she was stabbed to death in a street in Huddersfield. The perpetrator, her ex-partner Paul Crowther, was a man she'd already reported to the police multiple times over fears for her safety. But they failed to protect her.
The very day before it happened, Bethany went, and she must have been terrified at this moment in time. I believe she went in with somebody else, and she practically begged them to take Paul Crowther off the streets, and they just ignored all her fears.
A review into her death has now revealed that Paul Crowther had previously been arrested 9 times under the Mental Health Act and been the named suspect in domestic incidents with 2 previous partners. While West Yorkshire Police says it's accepted and implemented all recommendations made in the review, Pauline now wants all forces to improve their culture in response to domestic abuse. Her campaign, based on Bethany's initials BRF, calls for all authorities to believe, react fast.
Through my trauma and tragedy and devastation, I've been on peer support groups where I've spoken face to face with other families that are just heartbroken and the world's just completely shattered. And the common denominator in all this was that they weren't being believed. They weren't making themselves heard. They weren't getting the swift action and the right decisions that they needed. And then I realised BRF, that's my daughter's initials. And I just thought, it's a way for Bethany's huge heart and loving personality to still help save people's lives.
I think it's just can be such a great framing for the culture shift that we need.
Her campaign's been backed by her MP Katie White, who met with the Safeguarding Minister Jess Phillips alongside Pauline to highlight her case. They're now working on how best to implement BRF into government strategy.
We're talking to her about how we can help and how we can use this campaign. I'm not wedded to exactly how they do it, but I just want to make sure that it happens. And at the same time, for Pauline to make sure she can hear the legacy of Bethany, lives on. And I think she's done an incredible job to do that. So anything we can do to help her and support her to do that, we will.
And on top of that, Queen Camilla has now written to Pauline, expressing how important she believes this campaign is.
That is absolutely wonderful. People are listening and they understand and get what I'm trying to do. It's a way of still saving lives.
And that was Pauline Jones speaking to Amelia Beckett there. And you can hear more from Pauline in Amelia's documentary, which uncovers the epidemic of domestic abuse. It's called Unheard Voices, and it's on ITVX, which you can find on your smart TV, phone or online.
More of the day's news now, and a man's been told he faces jail after admitting the death by dangerous driving of a young girl in Halifax in July 2023. 9-year-old Alice Williams died in hospital 3 days after being hit on a pedestrian crossing by a car driven by Kadir Hussain. Her parents held up photographs of their daughter during the 20-minute hearing at Bradford Crown Court. Hussain was given bail pending sentencing on May the 2nd. Next, to the much-needed flood defences for one town in the Calder Valley. Now, while you might think the multi-million-pound scheme in Hebden Bridge would be a good thing, some people say the disruption during construction could claim their livelihoods.
A similar scheme was completed just down the road in Mythenroyd almost 4 years ago, but some say that the final plans, due to be submitted soon, come at the worst time for Hebden Bridge.
Yes, a major road has been shut twice in the past few months, and businesses say while flood defences are crucial, there might be no town left to defend after a 4-year construction period. Helen Steele spent the day there.
With the sun high and river levels low, there's little chance of flooding today. But it was a different story a few years ago. Residents in the Calder Valley woke on Boxing Day 2015 to some of the worst floods they'd ever seen. One of those was Mark, who runs an independent care business. His offices were so damaged he had to move.
We probably lost about £40,000 worth of equipment and resources.
He moved from Hebden Bridge to Mythenroyd.
These are the new offices here, directly opposite the river.
Surprising perhaps that he opened so close to the cause of those floods, but things have changed here.
Well, back in 2015, the water levels were so high in Mythenroyd that they would have come up those stairs there and even submerged part of his statue. But since then, around £41 million has been spent on flood defences on the river over there.
From an emotional perspective, the security and the surety that it gives you when the flood siren goes off, knowing that you're not going to come into 5 feet of water.
But that's not the case a few miles down the road where he used to work. Hebden Bridge is still awaiting its flood defences, and today the plans will put on show. There'll be raised walls, gates and glass panels like these in Mythenroyd.
People here, I suppose, are saying, why has it been so long here?
Yeah, I can completely understand that. It is 10 years on since the really bad floods of Boxing Day 2015, but it's an incredibly complex project, probably the most complex in Yorkshire, if not the country.
Yes, love.
Here at the White Swan, landlady Liz is back behind the bar after nearly losing everything. Despite up to 4 years of disruption, if the scheme goes ahead next year, she's happy.
You've got to accept that, isn't it? And for the future, it'll be better for people. What they've done in Mythenroyd has been good, because instead of the river backing up here, which is the river here, it's moving through better.
But sweet shop owner Gemma says she'll struggle to stay open.
Right now, I just can't even begin to comprehend that level of disruption. Like, as a town recently, it's just been horrendous with road closure. It's just going to end up a ghost town. And what's there going to be left to protect?
While some see this as a disruption that'll drive customers away, others see it as a necessary step towards taming an unpredictable force of nature. Helen Steele, ITV News in Hebden Bridge.
You're watching Calendar. Thanks for staying with us tonight, and still to come.
Another beautiful day across the region today. Can we hang on to the settled conditions as we head into the new meteorological season? All the detail a little later on, and
Keep watching Calendar to see Will Burns.
That's me.
In the studio.
Oh, he's good, isn't he?
He's
Looking
really
forward
good,
to that.
yeah.
Now, for those of you who, at the start of the year, set yourself a goal of getting fitter, but pounding the treadmill is starting to lose its appeal. I know the feeling. There are other ways of getting exercise.
Did you set that as a New Year's resolution?
No.
No, neither did I. But projects like Good Gym are one option. As well as helping people here in the Calendar region get exercise, it also is transforming community projects. James Webster has been finding out more.
It might be a spring clean at a community centre, getting stuck into some heavy-duty gardening, or clearing litter dropped in their neighbourhood. Whatever that week's project, the volunteers from Good Gym want something that gives them a decent physical workout.
It's really great. I mean, I've been doing Good Gym for about 7 years now, and when I first started, I was a non-runner. I didn't really do much exercise at all, and since then, you know, I run everywhere. We've got guys who've gone from having never done anything to now doing ultramarathons and all sorts.
The volunteers will start with a run to wherever their help's needed. In Sheffield, they've recently been helping clear up some of the city's walking and cycling routes.
It feels fulfilling. It feels nice to do good things for people, and feel like that goodness kind of comes back.
We've tended to go back to Parkwood Springs a lot, so we've got to know various volunteers there, do a lot of tree planting, and it's nice to sort of revisit things that you've made in the community.
So many people helping at once makes a big difference in a short time.
We get to know the city a lot better because we're going out to different parts of the city, getting involved with other community organisation projects, getting to know other charities. So a lot of people get to know the ins and the outs of the city as well as other things to get involved with.
And the effect of all this soon adds up. More than 24,000 volunteers are involved across the country. They've helped complete more than 384,000 different tasks. Good causes like this forest school in York will contact their local group asking for help. 1 hour of work from them can save weeks of effort on their own.
What they've managed to do tonight is to make the site a bit safer. It's not going to be as slippery because they've put the wood chip down. They've rearranged some massive branches that we had cut down. One of the things I heard one of the Good Gymmers say is, amazing, we're having a really proper physical workout.
And that's before they end the evening with a more traditional workout. Under cover of darkness, another project has had a makeover. This night of exercise is about far more than lifting weights and burning calories. It's transforming communities too. James Webster, ITV News, York.
They look so much happier than if they'd been in a gym as well, don't they?
They do. Good to get outdoors, isn't it? And
Really
do that sort
good.
of thing.
Well, yeah, get the fresh air.
If you can.
OK, so let's get a little bit of sport now, talking of fresh air. Arif's here.
Yes, thanks, Lara. Well, Yorkshire here is a heartland. Rugby League even is a heartland in Yorkshire. I'll try that again. But Rugby Union took centre stage in York today.
Xero Accounting Software sponsors ITV Regional Sports Report.
England men's rugby union team took to the turf in York this morning, and they did so in front of 6,000 spectators. The senior side travelled north for a training camp following their victory over Scotland in the Six Nations on Saturday. And they got more than a warm welcome, as Jonathan Brown reports.
Excitement doesn't quite cover it. England fever was alive and well in York this morning as the senior men's side soaked up the less than customary North Yorkshire sunshine in the glare of the media and 6,000 supporters, including plenty of school children.
It's just like a dream. Normally you see them on TV, but now you see them at the goals. I never thought I'd get to see the England team.
It just makes the Six Nations feel a lot bigger throughout the country rather than just in specific areas.
What about the kick? What about it? What about it?
Fresh from a narrow win over Scotland at Twickenham on Saturday, their second in a row in the Six Nations, Steve Borthwick's men travelled north to rest and recover. Today they parked up at the LNER Community Stadium, even stopping off in the cafe for a pre-training briefing. Some, like kicking and skills coach Kevin Sinfield, more familiar than others with the White Rose. Their special open session ahead of next weekend's Italy game, a chance to see the stars up close and maybe get a souvenir too.
Just like, wow, they're actually right in front of me.
They don't normally come up north. It's normally at least like a 3-hour journey to see.
Yeah. So you've saved some petrol today, at least.
Yeah, definitely.
It's great for us to be able to travel to the north to hopefully inspire some young people, some older people, but more importantly spread the love of rugby.
For some, it made them want to get out and play straight away. This insight into elite rugby union, something many here will reflect on for years to come. Jonathan Brown, ITV News, York.
Right, Arif, that's the rugby union.
Yes.
What about the rugby league?
Well, Laura, it's going to be an historic weekend for the sport. That's because they'll be playing not one, but 4 games stateside in Las Vegas. One of them will see England's women take on Australia. The majority of the squad either play in or are from our region, and they've been busy in the Sin City this week, shining a light on rugby league.
It's been absolutely unreal, like looking out the window even just at the hotel and you just kind of forget where you are, come down with the girls and it's amazing.
It's really exciting. I think it's something that we've not ever experienced before. Coming here sort of today we weren't really sure what we were going to expect, and I think we've been blown away by the support, so it's really exciting, yeah.
To see all the fans and the support we've got is, you know, it's surreal. So yeah, just thanks to everyone that's come out to support us. It means the world.
And finally, from me, we know the last 7 days or so have been life-changing for boxer Josh Padley. Well, today, it got even better. After stepping in last weekend to fight for a world title, Josh, who's from Doncaster, told me on Wednesday he's handed in his notice as an electrician to become a full-time boxer. Well, now he's been snapped up by Eddie Hearn's promotion team, Matchroom Boxing. I'm sure we'll be seeing a lot more of Josh.
Ooh, that is good news, isn't it?
Exciting,
Wonderful.
yeah. He'll make some big money.
Yeah. Now, the ITV Evening News continues at 6:30. Here's a look at what's happening with Lucrezia Millarini.
Coming up on the Evening News, the latest from Washington. Ukraine's President Zelensky meets with Donald Trump for crucial talks on a potential deal. Here, a blow to the PM as a minister quits over his decision to slash foreign aid. And the ongoing investigation into the deaths of actor Gene Hackman and his wife as police release a 911 call. Join me for those stories and more at 6:30.
Lucrezia, we certainly will. Well, Kerry's with us now. Kerry, look at that fella behind you.
Oh,
he's cute.
it's March tomorrow.
Yeah.
And they say, so the saying goes, in like a lion, out like a lamb. Mostly because, of course, March we start in winter and we end in spring.
Oh, yeah.
But it's the other way round. It's a little bit lambish as we head into tomorrow.
I did enjoy today.
Yeah, don't send me emails. The astronomical spring is still on the Thursday, the 20th of March, but meteorologically speaking, as we do every year with every season, we work in full months. So I start talking about spring from tomorrow, Saturday, the 1st of March. Now, talking about in like a lion, this very day, 7 years ago, it was the beast from the east. Look at this beautiful shot.
It well.
Yeah, I mean, you can see the drifting there in the bottom of that photograph. A big thank you to Simon Bull of Haversige, of course, in Derbyshire. Great shot, but today was completely different, wasn't it? This was Scarborough first thing this morning. Absolutely gorgeous start. It was frosty. It was very frosty. We were sub-zero, even in towns and cities hovering around freezing. But this was Lady Bow this afternoon. Big thank you to Bill for this shot. But we did have some mist and fog, even around the studios first thing this morning. It was low-lying moisture in the vales and valleys. Like here at Air Valley in Bradford, a big thank you to Glyn for this one, and even by night here, or I should say by morning at Ilkley Moor, a big thank you to Matthew. So, we've just lost Saturn, haven't got my watch on.
Oh.
Did you see the planetary parade? Did you run out this evening and see all 7 planets? Well, we've lost a couple already. They don't obviously look like that in the sky. They just look like stars, but they don't sparkle. I say don't worry. The skies are beautifully clear tonight. Like in January, the moon and Jupiter, and we've also got a lunar eclipse to look forward to next month. So lots to look forward to in the sky by day or by night.
Oh, exciting, exciting.
Busy time.
OK, finally, it's not every day you get to live out your childhood dreams, like presenting Calendar next to Lara, of course. But our next guest this evening has done exactly that.
Will Burns, a 24-year-old comedian, impressionist and charity fundraiser from Leeds, is a self-confessed Britain's Got Talent superfan. Now, we're talking Britain's Got Talent-themed birthday parties, a BGT-themed bedroom, even his own BGT buzzer.
Yeah, who doesn't? And when he went to the Britain's Got Talent auditions in Blackpool, his dreams of impressing Simon Cowell really did come true.
Now, before we meet him, let's take a quick look at how he impressed the audience and, more importantly, the judges.
Last week, I was alone making breakfast and I found myself saying, "It's Saturday morning. I'm in the kitchen. Why? Don't you want me through now? Don't
nature wants me. In the wild, we see a native cowl.
Oh, brilliant stuff. We were glued to the TV, and as you can see, Will's with us now. Will, what was that like, appearing on stage in Blackpool?
Well, it's a dream come true, like you said. I mean, this has been my life for 18 years now, so very surreal.
You have dreamt of doing this, haven't you? I'm not sure that you might have dreamt that you would have had this reaction, though, because you wowed the judges, didn't you?
I never dreamed. I honestly thought I'd get to that clip that you just showed where I'd be singing the Human League and I'd be off. That'd be it. But that was a very small price to pay to go on my favourite show. So I am more in shock than anybody else that happened, trust me.
So I'm just going to stop you there because we need to show the viewers what did happen when you wowed the judges, you wowed Anton Deck. This is the moment. And that was the moment you got the golden buzzer. What did it feel like?
Well, I've now discovered that I can jump higher than anybody in Britain, let alone Yorkshire.
A new talent.
Yeah, maybe that's my semi-final sorted. Just unbelievable. I mean, that is the stuff that, well, my dreams are completely made of, and I never, ever thought that was going to happen.
Tell us about this obsession then. How did it start? When did it start?
It started from the first episode. There was a man playing his ashtray with some keys, and I thought, I am destined to go on this show.
How old were you then?
7 years old.
7 years old. I think we've got a photo of you.
Oh, no.
Yeah. And we've got photos of you throughout your lifetime, actually, with your family, with your mum and dad, who, of course, were in the studio, weren't they, watching on Saturday?
Yeah, I mean, they were very nervous as well, but they've been unbelievably supportive. I genuinely would not have been on that stage if they hadn't been sat there, so very lucky.
And they're going to be there, surely, with you all the way. Fingers crossed you can go all the way. But next it's the live shows. If you're working on any new impressions, maybe?
I am, from the moment that I wake up in the morning. I think I'm actually doing them in my sleep as well now. I'm hopefully going to do you two at some point.
Oh, that's easy.
Anything and everything, yeah.
Oh, brilliant. You can't let us know, though, can you, yet?
It is top secret. You will have to tune in to find out.
We will be tuning in.
And we do want you to promise to come right back in here when you win, because you will win, I feel you will. You're getting recognised on the streets as well, aren't you?
It's very weird. It's very weird. I have to do a double take because something that can't mean me.
That's the price of fame, though, Will. You're going to have to get used to it.
People have been very lovely. I feel very, very lucky, and I can't believe how nice people have been.
Well, you deserve it. You're very talented, and you've always wanted to be on the telly, haven't you?
Well, I suppose I was on Britain's Got Talent, yes. Oh, and obviously Calendar.
Because we know that you've been in here,
yes,
into the Calendar studios when you were very little, practising, wanted to be on the telly, and now is your chance, if you'd like to have a go.
Camera one, look down there, Will, and go ahead, take us to the weather.
It's time to face the weather forecast. It's Kerry Gosney.
Smashed it. Smashed it.
I loved it.
Well done, mate.
Today's forecast: seafood and sugar cube towns. TUI sponsors ITV Yorkshire Weather.
Yes, a lovely day to end February today. Yes, mist and fog first thing, making for a fairly interesting start in many places, but soon lifting and giving us a lovely dose of blue sky and those spring blooms coming through. Pretty much wall-to-wall sunshine for most of us today. We did have that mist and fog in places, just some fair weather cloud for the afternoon, but a fine example of settled conditions and high pressure over the UK. So largely dry and clear and pretty cold overnight tonight with those winds continuing. Mist and fog will develop as we head into the early hours, most likely down the Vale of York, but we stay dry and again very similar to last night where we got down to nearly -4 Celsius. At Topcliffe we are expecting sub-zero temperatures away from towns and cities once more as we head towards dawn, and yes, once more there could be some low-lying mist and fog as we head into the weekend. So tomorrow a frosty start, maybe a foggy start for some, but soon lifting. The best of any sunshine in the morning. It will turn increasingly milky throughout the day with high cloud developing from the northwest, but it stays dry. Temperatures probably a degree upon today's values and just a little bit of a westerly breeze if you're over high ground in the west, for example. Then this very weak front comes down from the north. What it does do is just generate a little bit more cloud, so not as much of a widespread frost as we head into Sunday, but then high pressure redevelops. So for most of Sunday, it's dry and bright with a good dose of sunshine. Again, a touch of frost possible as we head into Monday. And then over the coming few days, weather fronts trying to approach, breezy and milder, but many places dry.
TUI sponsors ITV Yorkshire Weather.
Well, Kerry, I bet you never had an introduction to the weather like that, did you?
I was almost speechless. It was fantastic, wasn't it?
How good was he? Brilliant, wasn't he?
He was.
Fantastic.
Thank you for watching. Have a wonderful weekend. Good night.
Bye-bye.
Bye.